Hello, you're watching News 9 Live, and our top story at this hour. In an exclusive interview to the Financial Times, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has for the first time responded to allegations of an Indian plot to assassinate Khalistani terrorist Gurpatwant Singh Pannun in the US. The Prime Minister suggested that he shall look into any evidence over the assassination plot, but also stated that a few incidents cannot derail US-India ties. He sought to play down the diplomatic impact of the US indictment last month linking an Indian official to the attempted plot. More details of the story on your screen right now. If someone gives us any information, we would definitely look into it, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi. If a citizen of ours has done anything good or bad, we are ready to look into it, he said. Our commitment is to the rule of law, said Prime Minister Narendra Modi, deeply concerned about the activities of certain extremist groups based overseas. These elements, under the guise of freedom of expression, have incited violence. There is a strong bipartisan support, a clear indicator of a mature and stable partnership. Security and counter-terrorism cooperation has been a key component of our endeavor. I don't think it's appropriate to link a few incidents with diplomatic relations. Pannun, an American and Canadian citizen, has been advocating violence against India, including Air India and the Parliament. The PM Modi said what you saw on the screen about how deeply concerned he was about the activities of certain extremist groups that were based overseas. He also noted that there is strong bipartisan support in the US for the strengthening of bilateral relationship, which is a clear indicator of a mature and stable partnership. Very, very strong words coming from Prime Minister Narendra Modi in an exclusive interview that he gave to the Financial Times. And in some other news from home, in response to a surge in COVID-19 cases and the detection of the new JN.1 variant in several parts of India, Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya conducted a high-level review meeting with state counterparts. This comes amid the World Health Organization's statement on Tuesday that classified the JN.1 coronavirus strain as a variant of interest, although it said that current evidence shows risk to public health was rather low. What did Mandaviya say at the meeting? We shall now put it up on the screens. He said that it is time to work together in a whole of government approach. He also said that we need to be alert, but there is no need to panic. He says it is important to be prepared with mock drills of hospital preparedness. Also, increased surveillance and effective communication is also extremely important. This is what he said. And of course, Mandaviya also said that the center support to the states shall be there absolutely at all given times. India's health ministry issued an advisory to all states and union territories emphasizing the need for heightened vigilance. As the festive season approaches, states were urged to implement public health measures emphasizing respiratory hygiene. The advisory also stressed effective compliance with the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare operational guidelines for the revised COVID-19 surveillance strategy provided. Like on Wednesday, India had over 2,300 cases. That's the map on your screen right now. Kerala reported 292 total cases, while Tamil Nadu had 13. Maharashtra saw the cases rise to 11 and Karnataka had 9. Both Telangana and Puducherry reported 4 cases each, while Delhi and Gujarat had 3 each. The states with the lowest COVID cases are Punjab and Goa with 1 COVID case each. Kerala's Health Minister Veena George had earlier called a high-level meeting to address the COVID-19 surge, with over 85% of cases in the country originating in the state. A recent mock drill assessed hospital preparedness, revealing available oxygen and ICU beds as well. The focus, of course, shall be on areas like Kochi and Thiruvananthapuram, experiencing a rise in cases. The meeting emphasized increased testing for symptomatic individuals, and despite 10 COVID-related deaths this month, the minister, that is Veena George, assured ample medicine as well as stocks of equipment. News coming in from Tamil Nadu. After cyclone Migjom hit Chennai and nearby areas, 4 southern districts, particularly Tirunelveli and Tuticorin, are grappling with heavy rain unleashed by cyclonic circulation. The Tamil Nadu government, along with the armed forces, is undertaking rescue operations for stranded residents as the downpour wreaks havoc. Rainfall, of course, has unprecedented and enlisted IAF choppers to airdrop relief materials in Tirunelveli. Thoothukkudi's Kayalpattinam saw a historic 95 centimeters of rainfall in just 24 hours, leading to overflowing of rivers as well as channels. Major reservoirs in the region are at full capacity due to torrential rains in catchment areas. Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu Governor R.N. Ravi chaired a review meeting with senior officials from central agencies as well as armed forces focused on assessing the flood situation in southern districts. The governor directed authorities to mobilize maximum resources for rescue and relief operations. Simultaneously, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin plans also to visit Thoothukudi from Delhi the next morning. He aims to evaluate ongoing rescue efforts and assess the damage caused by rain and floods in southern districts, including Thoothukudi as well as Tirunelveli. Amid continuous tensions in Manipur, the burial of 87 dead bodies in the Churachandpur district, which was supposed to be held on 20th of December, is now under the cloud and might get delayed as well. This comes after the enforcement of Section 144 of the Criminal Procedure Code in Churachandpur district until 18th of February 2024 due to the reported incidents of erratic violence in several parts of Churachandpur, according to an official order. These violent incidents contributed to an overall tense atmosphere and enforcement of Section 144, which might delay the burial of 87 bodies announced by the convener of the joint philanthropic organization. Who stole my dream home? Well, the UP cabinet has sanctioned a series of relief measures now, including a COVID-0 period to be extended to developers based on recommendations from an expert committee led by former Niti Aayog CEO Amitabh Kant. The aim is to revitalize stalled real estate projects in the state. The committee, citing the Indian Banks Associations, identified 2.4 lakh stressed housing units, with the majority located in Noida and Greater Noida. The zero period relief for realtors is substantial, wiping out nearly 4 years of interest and penalties on dues owed to the government for allocated land. The Count Committee proposed 2 zero-period waivers, one for the COVID pandemic from March 2020 to March 22, and another from August 2013 to June 2015 during the National Green Tribunal's construction work stoppage around the Okla Bird Sanctuary until the eco-sensitive zone was notified. Now, what does this entail? On your screens right now. 46-month zero period, erasing almost 4 years of interest and penalties. Registries can be unlocked through a rescheduling plan requiring only partial payment upfront. RERA oversight for unfinished projects that needs funds. The introduction of a co-developer policy allows companies to inject funds into projects and bring them back to fruition. What it means for home buyers: certain flat owners likely to have flat possessions awaiting registry. Some buyers will have to wait for construction to finish. Builders can resume projects with reduced financial burdens. For some buyers, resolution may hinge on court case outcomes. Time for a short break in this bulletin, but I'm coming right back, so don't go away.
Bangalore traffic is an example of something that has gone wrong with our system.
We have more than 50 flyovers in Bangalore city. If flyover is a solution to traffic problem, Bangalore should not have traffic problem.
According to TomTom Traffic Index 2022, Bangalore is ranked as the second worst city in the world when it comes to traffic.
The speed limit at the ORR is 80 kilometers per hour, but our vehicle has only moved 10 kilometers per hour.
What Bangalore needs is a surgery, but what we have been offered repeatedly are band-aids.
Only on the world's first news OTT. News 9 Plus, ahead of the curve.
Welcome back to the bulletin. Some key bills are slated to be taken up for discussion in Parliament amid record number of opposition members now suspended. The Lok Sabha is at present considering 3 important bills which seek to reform criminal laws. The bills seek to repeal and replace the Indian Penal Code 1860, Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 and the Indian Evidence Act 1872. The bills were initially introduced by Home Minister Amit Shah in the monsoon session and were referred to a parliamentary standing committee. The suspension of 141 MPs accused of disrupting proceedings in both houses has sparked off debates over the state of parliamentary proceedings. The opposition, terming it a mockery of democracy, accused the government of bulldozing through important legislations without proper debate. The government, in response, blamed the opposition for disrespecting the Speaker and also the Parliament itself. And now let's look at what the President of India, Draupadi Murmu, tweeted about it. She said, "I was dismayed to see the manner in which our respected Vice President was humiliated in the Parliament complex. Elected reps must be free to express themselves, but their expression should be within the norms of dignity and courtesy," said the President of India. "This has been the parliamentary tradition we are proud of, and the people of India expect them to uphold it." That's the tweet by the President. And meanwhile, The Vice President of India, Mr. Dhankar, said received a telephone call from the Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji. He expressed great pain over the abject theatrics of some honourable MPs, and that too in the sacred Parliament complex. Yesterday, he told me that he has been at the receiving end of such insults for 20 years and counting. But the fact that it happened to a constitutional office like the Vice President of India, and that too in the Parliament, was unfortunate. So there it is. I mean, both the President of India and the Vice President of India expressing concern over Kalyan Banerjee's mimicry attempt. This unprecedented move raises, of course, critical questions about the strength of democracy in the country and whether the opposition is resorting to just dramatic theatrics. At this suspension saga unfolds, the Lok Sabha managed to pass 3 bills on the same day. The Congress, now left with only 9 unsuspended MPs in the Lok Sabha, describes this mass suspension as a complete purge. Those are the numbers of the total strength. The current strength is 238, suspended 46, and current opposition less than 100. That is the situation today.
One's name. I have not said either it is Rajya Sabha or it is Lok Sabha. It's a mock parliament was going on. If he has taken on his shoulder, I am really helpless. Does he really behave like this in the Rajya Sabha? That's my question. Now that's my question. No, I have never intended. There will be sin. Either you allow me to speak, otherwise you will. No. Then either you allow me to speak, or then. Now I will tell. I have never any intention to hurt anyone. Dhankar Sahab is also in my profession. He is a senior than me. He is also senior advocate. I am also senior advocate. In our profession, we never hurt anyone. I did not intend to do it. But if he is hurt, then I do not know why he is taking it on his shoulder itself. I do not know, because my question is, if he thinks that there is similarity between the behavior of him and myself, then my question is, does he behave in this way in the Rajya Sabha? I have a great respect for Dhankarji. Firstly, he belongs to my profession. Secondly, he was our ex-governor. Thirdly, he is our vice president. He is the chairman. But I did not want to hurt anyone. And it's not, please. It's one type of art. Mimicry has been done by also the Honorable Prime Minister in the Lok Sabha itself. I can show you the video. He has done it in the last term in 2014 to 2019. In the Lok Sabha itself. But everyone has taken it as okay. It's not seriously. But if anyone takes it seriously, I am helpless.
Now, what we have seen in the country in the last few days is a travesty of parliamentary democracy. In fact, I did a bit of research. Never in the entire history of parliamentary democracy has any parliament in any country in the world ever suspended or expelled 150 people. That is the dubious record that has been set in our parliament this week. Everyone understands a basic principle of parliamentary democracy is the accountability of the Council of Ministers to the Parliament. When Parliament is in session, anything that happens, the government's duty is to come to Parliament and discuss it with them before going out. When the opposition called for a discussion on the security breach and requested that the Home Minister should come and speak to Parliament, as you all know, The Home Minister did not come. He was giving statements outside to the media, he was giving press interviews, but he was not prepared to speak inside Parliament. This is why the opposition protested. And I must say that the reaction has been completely disproportionate to the actual offence of protesting. The protest was for a very democratic parliamentary reason, which is to have the Home Minister come and initiate a discussion. The opposition had come to this winter session determined to cooperate fully in the functioning of Parliament. That's how the session began also. We wanted to participate in major debates on matters of national importance. But what we have seen, sadly, is the government has no interest in letting the opposition function responsibly in Parliament.
वो पर्पसली सबको सस्पेंड करके कोई अपोजिशन के नेताओं ने हाउस में नहीं आना और चर्चा में हिस्सा नहीं लेना, उनके जो 3 बुरे कानून आ रहे क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर के, ये इसको कोई विरोध नहीं करना, ये उनका मंशा है। एक दूसरी उनकी मंशा है कि सबको बाहर निकाल के कि एक डिक्टेटरशिप चलाने की वो कोशिश कर रहे हैं और ये डेमोक्रेसी में नहीं चलेगा। आज नहीं कल उनको ये भारी पड़ेगा। इसीलिए हम लोगों के सामने जा रहे हैं और उसके लिए हमारी पूरी तैयारी भी है। आज जो हम प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं, फिर कल भी हम ऐसा ही प्रोटेस्ट करेंगे जब तक वो खुद आके सबको सबका सस्पेंड रिवोकेशन करके चर्चा को जब तक वो मान्यता नहीं देंगे तब तक ये चलते रहेगा। ये तो एक अनडेमोक्रेटिक वे ऑफ फाइटिंग है उनका और हमको मुंह बंद करना चाहते। अब हम बंद होने वाले नहीं, हमारा मुंह भी बंद नहीं।
बातें पूरे परिप्रेक्ष्य में संदर्भ में कह दी। महत्वपूर्ण ये है कि हम चांद का टुकड़ा नहीं मांग रहे थे। हम गृह मंत्री जी जो हर सवाल पे तत्पर रहते हैं, बाहर बयान देने को आतुर रहते हैं, जो उनका डोमेन नहीं है उस पे भी बोलते हैं। हमने कहा गृह मंत्री जी आके दोनों सदनों में, क्योंकि ये संसद की इमारत की चूक नहीं है सर। संसद है क्या? संसद 800 वैसे लोगों की जगह है जो पूरे देश का प्रतिनिधित्व करते हैं। तो इसको राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा से जुड़ा मसला मानना चाहिए। हमें कोई ये ना समझाए कि लोकसभा स्पीकर पार्लियामेंट्री सिक्योरिटी के इंचार्ज होते हैं। हकीकत हम सबको मालूम है, लेकिन हमने बस इतना मांगा और आपने इस स्केल पे जो सस्पेंशन किया, शशि थरूर जी ने बिल्कुल कहा पूरी दुनिया में ऐसा नहीं होता। तो लोकतंत्र की माँ कहते हैं ना, मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी। अब तो माँ को बीमार कर दिया आपने। माँ बीमार चल रही है। इस बीमार माँ को तीमारदारी की जरूरत है। और हम जैसे सांसद जिनको आप सस्पेंड करते हैं, अगर प्रिजाइडिंग ऑफिसर्स के तौर तरीके हमको सुनने के काबिल नहीं है, हमारे पास क्या विकल्प? क्या प्लेकार्ड पहली बार दिखाया गया इस देश में? सारी रूलिंग और ऑब्जर्वेशन देखिए आप, 52 से लेके अब तक क्या बना रहे हैं आप इसको। आपने मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी को कत्ल करने का की सुपारी ले ली और वो आप कर रहे हैं। आपको प्रतिरोध मुक्त सड़क चाहिए और विपक्ष मुक्त संसद चाहिए। आपको मुबारक हो मोदी जी, आप इस देश को सिंगल पार्टी मेजॉरिटेरियन रूल की तरफ ले जा रहे हैं और आप सोचते हैं आप ताली बजवाते रहेंगे। तालियां कब गालियों में तब्दील हो जाए शायद उन्हें पता है।
Congress Parliamentary Party Chairperson Sonia Gandhi, Party President Mallikarjun Kharge and Congress MP Rahul Gandhi participated in the demonstration opposing the suspension of 141 opposition MPs holding banners with the message saying, "Save Democracy." Addressing the Congress Parliamentary Party meeting, Congress Chief Sonia Gandhi criticized the suspension of 141 opposition MPs from Parliament, saying, "Democracy has been strangulated by this government." Gandhi said it is unprecedented for so many MPs to be suspended from the House for raising a perfectly reasonable and legitimate demand. According to her, the opposition MPs had only requested a statement from the Home Minister regarding the breach of Parliament. She emphasized, and I quote her, "There are no words to describe the arrogance with which this request was treated." Close quote. Sonia Gandhi asserted that the events that took place on 13th of December are inexcusable and cannot be justify.
Other people can stand here itself.
Democracy down, down. Democracy down, down.
Even as the Rajya Sabha reconvenes following repeated adjournments, NDA MPs stand in Parliament to show respect for the Vice President.
और संविधान का अपमान नहीं सहेगा हिंदुस्तान पर, इसलिए हमारे सब is going to become the global knowledge superpower. My pointed question to the Honorable Minister is, what major steps are being taken by the ministry for reverse immigration? तो उपराष्ट्रपति का अपमान नहीं सहेगा हिंदुस्तान.
It's time for a break now, but I'm coming right back with lots more international as well as domestic news. So stay with us.
It was my 14th birthday.
On birthday, daughter waits
for missing father.
He was carrying a cake for his daughter.
49-year-old Birmingham-based
Indian diplomat vanishes.
He was grabbed and bundled into a car by 4 assailants.
KLA claims responsibility. Demands Kashmiri separatists.
Maqbool Bhatt's release.
Goli maro, aur phek do.
And within 3 days, they shot him dead.
Abducted diplomat.
Found murdered in Leicestershire.
I said, who ordered to kill him? To me, he said, yes, I ordered it.
And he never came home.
Stop searching. Start streaming. Download the world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus, ahead of the curve.
Delhi has the fastest growing metro network among G20 nations. From 6 stations in 2002, it today has 286 stations. Reliability, cleanliness and affordability have set the template for other Indian metros. The architect of this modern-day world-class marvel is E. Sridharan. Watch the extraordinary life of Metro Man E. Sridharan streaming now on News 9 Plus. Download now.
They picked my husband. He was tortured there for 2 years. He was enforced disappeared. We had no idea where he is. Within 15 minutes, we got the information that the whole area is surrounded by Pakistan Army. I came out from that in disguise, and after 5 to 6 hours, I was in Kandahar. I don't have any message for Pakistan. There is no politician in Pakistan. They are puppets of Pakistan Army.
Streaming now. This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus. Download now.
Now, let's talk about the war between Israel and Hamas, which has now entered its 75th day. All the latest updates here on News 9 Live from the war front on your screens right now.
The following content may contain visuals that are disturbing, graphic, or sensitive in nature. Viewer discretion is advised. This material is intended for mature audiences and may not be suitable for all viewers. Please exercise caution while watching, and if you find such content distressing, we recommend discontinuing viewing. This disclaimer is provided to ensure awareness and to prioritize viewer well-being.
So the war between Israel and Hamas has now reached its 75th day, and here are some of the latest updates from the war front. UNSC expected to vote today on the bid to boost air deliveries to Gaza. Israeli military advancing in southern Gaza, according to the IDF. 1,500 tunnel shafts and underground passages have been discovered in Gaza, according to the IDF. IDF denies responsibility for the death of 2 women at Gaza church complex. Netanyahu reiterates commitment to bring back Israeli hostages. Israeli ground ops would expand to additional areas, says Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. Al-Ahil Baptist Hospital in Gaza is out of service now, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health. 19,453 Palestinians, including 7,729 children, have been killed in the war. Now, rescuers were seen digging through the rubble in an attempt to find survivors and recover bodies after Israeli strikes demolished 3 houses in Rafah in southern Gaza. Gaza health officials reported that at least 20 people were killed in the attack. On Tuesday, UN officials expressed anger and disbelief about the situation in hospitals in Gaza, where injured individuals lack even basic supplies and children recovering from amputations are being killed in the ongoing conflict. Most of Gaza's hospitals remain non-operational due to damage from attacks, Israeli raids, and a shortage of fuel and staff. The ones still open are under increasing pressure, facing both strikes and a growing influx of sick and injured patients.
Truly, I'm furious. I'm furious that those with power shrug as the humanitarian nightmares unleashed on 1 million children. I'm furious that children who are recovering from amputations in hospitals are then killed in those hospitals. I'm furious that there are more children hiding as we speak somewhere who will no doubt be hit and have amputations in the coming days. I'm furious that of all the senseless attacks, the only admittance of dumb is the use of dumb bombs. I'm furious that disease is as well armed as the warring parties, but it gets absolutely no attention. I'm furious, as I said, that little boy of a friend I made is now worryingly sick and they have only hope and dirty water. Lisa, I'm furious that Christmas is likely going to bring increased savagery in attacks as the world is distracted with its own, love and goodwill. I'm furious that now we're at 5, 6, 7,000 children killed and they're becoming statistics and not stories. I'm furious that the, hypocrisy is crushing empathy. And to a degree, I'm furious at myself for not being able to do more.
The people in the hospitals, yes, they need everything. They need medical supplies, but what they ask for first is food and water, the very basics. They do not have them. One of my colleagues described people lying on the floor in severe pain, in agony, but they weren't asking for pain relief, they were asking for water. That it's beyond belief that the world is allowing this to continue. I can only concur with James. I haven't been there, but just what I'm seeing and hearing from my colleagues is something that it's unconscionable that the world allows this to continue.
Volunteers in Khan Yunis are working with children traumatized by Israeli bombardments, underground offensives in the Palestinian enclave. Children living in shelters express living in fear, with the sounds of drones and explosions keeping them awake all through the night. Dalia Elvi, a volunteer in psychology and entertainment, mentions that she's attempting to alleviate the children's negative feelings through play at the Jennings schools in Khan Yunis.
احنا حاليا في مدرسة جنين الثانوية للبنين، موجود فيها نازحين، موجود فيها عدد من النازحين من شمال قطاع غزة. حاليا بنعمل لهم احنا جلسات ترفيهية او ترفيه بمعنى اخص للاطفال، من العاب، من اناشيد، انهم يفرغوا من الطاقة السلبية اللي هم واجهوها في قطاع غزة من ازمات، من حرب قوية كانت عليهم، من العدوان اللي احنا فيه. فهذا الاشي بيفرغ وبيطلع النفسية او الطاقات السلبية من الاطفال، حتى الاهالي كمان، لانه الاهل لما تشوف اطفالها مبسوطين ومرتاحين ومبسوطين في هذه الاجواء بينبسطوا اكثر، حتى بتلاقي انه الاهل بيشاركوا صاروا معنا وانهم يوقفوا ويحضروا هذه الاجواء.
Moving on, according to U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, the United States was leading a multinational operation to safeguard commerce in the Red Sea as attacks by Iran-backed Yemeni Houthi militants forced more major shipping companies to reroute. Austin, who is on a trip to Bahrain, home to the U.S. Navy's headquarters in the Middle East, said Britain, Bahrain, Canada, France, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Seychelles and Spain were among nations involved in the Red Sea security operation. The group shall conduct joint patrols in the southern Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden.
The lifeblood of the rules-based international order is actually seawater. All countries have the right to move freely and lawfully in international waters. But that foundational global right is under new threat today from the totally unacceptable attacks on merchant vessels by the Houthis in Yemen. So this morning, we've launched Operation Prosperity Guardian under the umbrella of Combined Maritime Forces and under the leadership of Task Force 153. That operation is bringing together more than a dozen countries from around the world to conduct joint patrols in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden.
French Foreign Minister Catherine Colonna announced joint measures with partners to halt Houthi attacks in the Red Sea during a meeting with British Foreign Minister David Cameron. The Houthi militia, backed by Iran, has escalated its involvement in the Israel-Hamas conflict, attacking vessels and launching drones and missiles at Israel from Yemen. Both ministers spoke on the need for a Gaza ceasefire, with Colonna supporting a two-nation solution. Listen in.
Discussions about how we can help to get aid in.
Les Houthis. The Houthis, to name them, we know that they are often supported by Iran, have fired missiles, launched drones and seized vessels over the past few weeks. This must stop. You have seen that we have decided to strengthen our cooperation to fight against the terrorist threats in this area. Actions will be taken in coordination with our allies. This is in line with what the President of the Republic had expressed several days ago. We must strengthen our operational capabilities in the area to put an end to these attacks.
Première visite bilatérale.
On Tuesday, the Colorado Supreme Court disqualified former President Donald Trump from the state's presidential election ballot in 2024 due to his involvement in the 6 January 21 attack on the US Capitol by his supporters. This historic ruling, under a rarely used provision of the US Constitution, marks Trump as the first presidential candidate deemed ineligible for the White House due to engaging in quotes, insurrection or rebellion, close quote.
The attack on our nation's capital on January 6, 2021 was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy. As described in the indictment, it was fueled by lies. Lies by the defendant targeted at obstructing a bedrock function of the U.S. government, the nation's process of collecting, counting, and certifying the results of the presidential election.
And we are here because Trump claims, after all that, he has the right to be president again. But our Constitution, our shared charter of our nation, says he cannot do so.
Trump's disqualification has been carried out under the American Constitution Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, also referred to as the Insurrection Clause. This clause actually bars anyone from the Congress, the military and the federal and state officers who once took an oath to uphold the Constitution but then engaged in insurrection or rebellion against it. Now, Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy has vowed to pull out from the Colorado ballot if the state's Supreme Court does not let Donald Trump contest. That's his tweet on your screens right now.
They have just tried to bar President Trump from the Colorado ballot using an unconstitutional maneuver that is a bastardization of the 14th Amendment to our U.S. Constitution. This was a provision, Section 3, that was designed to bar Confederate members, people who switched to the Confederacy, from actually being able to serve. That's very different than what's at issue here, to say the least. This is a hollowed out husk of what the country was built on. The basic principle that we, the people, select our leadership, not the unelected elite class in the back of palace halls. That's old world Europe, not the United States. That's why I'm making a pledge today that I will withdraw, I pledge to withdraw from the Colorado GOP primary ballot unless and until Trump's name is restored. And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Chris Christie and Nikki Haley do the same thing, or else these Republicans are simply complicit in this unconstitutional attack on the way we conduct our constitutional republic. I refuse to be complicit in that. I think what they're doing is wrong, and I think it's up to Republicans to step up and stand up with a spine for our country's future. That's really what's at stake, whether we, the people, actually have a say in deciding who leads this country. Yes, it would be easier for other Republicans like me who are running in this race to say, hey, if Trump is sidelined, there's our opportunity. No doubt other candidates are probably privately celebrating with their corporate sponsors. That's not the right thing to do. I think the most useful thing that every GOP candidate can do right now is to join me in that pledge. I'll say that I will withdraw from that Colorado GOP primary ballot until Trump's name is restored. This belongs to the people.
Vivek Ramaswamy also urged that his counterparts Ron DeSantis, Chris Christie and Nikki Haley do the same immediately, adding that if they didn't, they are tacitly endorsing this illegal maneuver, which will have disastrous consequences for America. The 4-3 ruling is temporarily on hold until 4th of January, awaiting a potential appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. With the legal battles clouding Trump's 2024 prospects after Colorado's Supreme Court blocks ballot placement, sending U.S. Supreme Court appeal, state ruling impacting the campaign demands resolution by 5th of January for GOP primary list. Federal judge schedules 4th March 2024 for election subversion trial, prompting Trump's criticism. And with that, it's a wrap in this bulletin. But for all the news and analysis, this is your destination, News 9 Live. Thank you for watching.
पाकिस्तान की सरकार को भी स्पष्ट बतलाना चाहता हूं कि कश्मीर की रट लगाकर कुछ हासिल नहीं होगा। भारत की संसद में पीओके को लेकर एक सर्वसम्मत प्रस्ताव पारित है।